Thank you, Al, and thank you all for taking time to attend our presentation today. We just want to go into a quick introduction. My name is Todd Hassler. I'm the Executive Director for New Jersey Secure Choice Savings Program. We're branded as Retire Ready New Jersey. And what we are is a state agency dedicated to bringing retirement benefits, a retirement savings vehicle, to the employees of our small employers here in New Jersey who don't have access or who don't offer a private retirement savings program. A little bit of housekeeping here. You'll see on this slide, obviously my information there, our name and contact information, but there's a very important number I like to highlight, which is our employer saver assistance number, and that is 855-929-4387. I'm going to be saying this throughout the presentation. I really like to make sure that this is a number that you'll remember because you'll be able to utilize this to help get yourself set up with Retire Ready and to facilitating this benefit for your employees. Additionally, on the right-hand side, you'll notice that we are on social media. There's a lot of news coming out about Retire Ready New Jersey. There's been a lot of changes over the last year and a half since we've launched, and there's been some legislative updates that may actually affect you. This is a great way to keep abreast of these changes, learn about the program, and make your employees aware of opportunities where they can actually attend our events and listen in. Lastly, we'll be touching on this throughout. retireready.nj.gov is our website. You'll be utilizing this to actually register with us and access the program site. With that housekeeping taken care of, I'm going to go right into our presentation. And the topic today is retirement. And this is something that's near and dear to us all. We all have a dream of it. Everybody's dream is different. We put a lot of slides up here. My team's built this collage for us. And it shows some of the dreams that are out there. Traveling, spending time with your grandchildren, participate in hobbies, going on adventures, doing the things that you would love to be doing right now, but you're either busy working or shoveling snow because of the weather right now. So the question then becomes, how do we accomplish these dreams? How do I get into a stage in my life where I can retire and have all these dreams that are sold to us on the social media and television? How do I accomplish this? And it gets broken down into a couple different ways here in the United States. In the United States, we utilize a few different mechanisms to help individuals save for retirement. The first is retirement savings programs. In the United States, about 50% of our citizens have access to a retirement savings vehicle. This is great for the individuals who have access to it, but for the individuals who don't, which very well may be you and your employees, they're forced to try and figure out on their own. When we look at New Jersey and we focus in on our population, we are a great cross-section of the United States here. We're densely populated, and we're about the same, about 46% versus 47% of our population do not have access to a private retirement savings vehicle. That means they have to go out, find a place that will open up an account for them, figure out if their fees are right, select investments that are appropriate for them, and then the hard part, get the money from their paycheck into the accounts and do it consistently. Because consistency is really the key to success in retirement savings. In addition to retirement savings vehicles that are here in the United States, we also have a tool called Social Security. There is always a lot of question, is it going to be here, is it not going to be here? I like to be an optimistic person. My team may say I'm pie in the sky sometimes about these things, but it's also important to know what Social Security is. Social Security is a federal benefit. It's something that we all pay into through payroll deductions and taxes. And it's meant to represent about 40% replacement value of your current income. So what does this mean? Well, if you are one of the individuals who did not have the ability to save for retirement throughout your career, that means when you go into retirement, your paycheck's going to be cut by roughly 60%. So if you made $100 a day, that gets cut down to $40 a day. That's a scary thing. In fact, this is a real issue here in New Jersey. About 20% of our citizens rely almost entirely on Social Security as their form of income in retirement because they were part of that population who did not have the ability to save for retirement. As an employer here in New Jersey, the question then begs, what does this mean to me? Why is this important to me? And it's important to you because it is a singular point that drives your employee community's decision to stay with you as an employer. As an employer, it's these are your greatest resources. These are the individuals out there who are selling your services, delivering your services, interacting with your clients, and really being the face of your business. And having good employees is a hard thing to accomplish. If you accomplish it, you want to keep them. But there's been studies done on this. In 2021, 24% of the workforce left their jobs. So if we roll this to you, if you have 4 employees, that means you lose about 1 a year, or you lost about 1 individual in 2021, maybe more. And that has a huge effect on your productivities. A lot of times these employees cite issues like financial stress being a major impact on their productivity. 73% of our employees are citing this as a stressor for them. These are things like, do I have a means to save for retirement? Do I have a security net for me if something goes wrong? Do I have funds to help myself sustain if I hit that rough patch of road? This is a real challenge. If employees feel the stress of this, they may be forced to look for jobs that either offer benefits that protect them or pay a little bit more. Of these individuals who are citing financial stresses, about 62% of them are saying they are considering other jobs specifically to get access to retirement savings vehicles, retirement benefits. This is a direct correlation to what we're doing here. And they state that financial wellness is a primary focus on their decision for seeking out alternative employment. So after we identify this, hey, this is a big problem. Individuals want retirement benefits. They want health care. They want retirement. They want to feel this security. You as a small employer, how about I just offer a retirement program? Why don't you do that? Well, I've been in this industry for going on 30 years. I've worked in it as an individual building plans, running retirement plans, and also even as a federal investigator for these programs. And the answer to why some employers choose not to have these programs, and one of the decisions that you may have made in your reasoning for not offering it, is the complexity. Program designs, can I afford this? The expense of running the program, the design features, making sure that you're doing it correctly, filing all the necessary filings with the federal government, and hoping it all goes well. You have a lot to do as a small employer, and trying to run the Rube Goldberg machine of retirement benefits, it may be just one more task that you're not looking to take on as an employer here in New Jersey. And that's okay. In fact, it's a good decision if it's not something that you can do and do well. Because when things go wrong with benefit programs, it actually detracts from the morale of your staff. So if it's not something that you can take on right now, that's understandable. But this still creates an issue for the state of New Jersey. How do we help these individuals save for retirement? With that in mind, the state actually addressed this back in 2019 when they launched the Jersey Secure Choice Savings Program Act. And that act established Retire Ready New Jersey. And what we are is an affordable, reliable, and easy to use retirement savings vehicle for employees of employers that do not have a retirement program. So if your organization doesn't offer a retirement plan, it's not something that you're looking to take on, but you want to save for retirement, your employees want to save for retirement, this is something that can be offered so that that dream can be achieved, the dream that we talked about originally. Now, there are employers here in New Jersey that are mandated by the program. These employers, it's real easy to identify. You do work here in New Jersey, you don't have a retirement plan, and you have 25 or more employees. Now, there has been some recent change in our legislation. This is great news. So that mandate is actually being adjusted from 25 employers or employees to 10 employees or more. So if you are previously not covered by the mandate, this change may result in you receiving a communication. Now, the rollout of this legislative change is going to happen in a very structured and methodical way. We will be sending out communications to all the employers. We're developing that process right now so that it goes just as smooth as the original rollout of the program. And you should expect to receive some communications from us in the near future. If you have even less than 10 employees, you are still welcome to facilitate Retire Ready New Jersey. You would simply follow the same process. I would actually refer you back to the employer assistance number, 855-929-4387. That is going to be your lifeline to working through the registration process. Now, as a facilitator of Retire Ready New Jersey, you have very little responsibilities. There is some things that you'll need to do, but there's really mostly benefits. For this slide, I like to talk about the things you won't be doing. Part of our legislative change is you will have no administrative duties. You're not going to be collecting any forms. You're not going to be talking to your employees about opting in or opting out. We're going to send you over a poster or two that in English and Spanish that you can hang by your time card, and it's going to direct your employees to contact us if they have questions about their investments. They want to increase their savings, decrease their savings. That all comes through Retire Ready New Jersey. You're not going to be making matching contributions, which means there's going to be no testing. There's no math that you'll need to do. You're not allowed to make matching contributions. It's only employee savings or your own savings that will be going into these investment vehicles. Most importantly, having been an investigator for EBSA, it's near and dear to my heart. You are not a program fiduciary. If the investments don't perform well, send them to Retire Ready. Something goes wrong with their account, send them to Retire Ready. You are not the program fiduciary. We are. It's not your responsibility. Send it over. You are not expected to do any of these functions. However, by facilitating Retire Ready, you'll find that there's very little administrative burden. The process will be a component of your payroll process. You'll be making deductions out of your normal payroll processing, and those deductions will be remitted to us. That's really the heaviest lift that you'll have. The great part is that we've interacted with many of the payroll vendors here in New Jersey and continue to do outreach to close in those relationships and create real integration to reduce workload on your end. We are constantly engaging this employer payroll community to make this easier for our employers here in New Jersey. Also, there's no cost. You're not going to be making contributions. You're not going to be hiring investment advisors. You're not going to be hiring attorneys. None of that is your responsibility. All you will be doing is your normal payroll process and transmitting those funds over to us. The greatest part, though, is that you won't be in a situation where you have to say, I do not have a retirement benefit to a potential new employee. They'll be able to begin saving for retirement and actually seeing those account values develop over time. And those contributions here in New Jersey have already expanded. In a year and a half. We have over 26,000 savers and over $19 million in assets under management. We're seeing tremendous growth and adoption of these of the program. We expect to see these numbers continue to grow, and you and your employees may also be part of that expansion. One question that we get asked quite often is, how do I work through this? We have a very short action check sheet that we'll be working through. It begins with registering with Retire Ready. And you'll do this through retireready.nj.gov. You're going to go out to the website, select on the employer page, and through that page, you're going to work through the registration process. If you have an online retail account, you've bought anything online, this is going to be easy for you. After you register your account, you're going to upload your employees' information. Depending on how you do payroll, this may be a fully integrated process. Like I said, we've worked with a lot of the payroll vendors out there, and it is a very clean process in many cases. If you do use more of a manual tool, there are spreadsheets out there as well, where you'll simply upload your employees' information into a spreadsheet and transmit that over to you or to us. After that's done, we really take over. Retire Ready will reach out and contact your employees and begin the process of working them through the automatic enrollment into the program. This begins with who will be eligible to participate. Our eligibility requirements are very simple. Basically, you have to be 18 years old and working. So if you have income, you're 18 years old, and our program is for our employers here in New Jersey, you can begin saving into Retire Ready. This population will be loaded to our system, and we'll begin the process of communicating our auto enrollment features. Auto enrollment for Retire Ready New Jersey is pretty straightforward. This is a simple process. It's actually utilized by all new retirement programs in the nation. So it's a great tool to not only get people engaged in saving and get them to start accumulating those account balances, but it also acclimates them for the potential introduction of a retirement plan. Maybe your program or your organization grows tremendously over the next couple of years. We all hope this. And you say, hey, look, I actually want to offer retirement benefits. They're going to go through the same process. They're going to see a very similar look and feel with Retire Ready as what your employees would feel if they were covered by a private pension program, private retirement program. So our auto enrollment begins with a 30-day window. Individuals will have 30 days to make an election to either stay with the default feature or to tailor their elections so they're more customized to their own needs. Our default elections are a 3% contribution rate into a high-quality target date fund. This is a life cycle fund that begins with a heavier weighting in stocks in the earlier years of your career, and gradually over time rebalances into a heavier weighting into bonds as we get closer to our normal or our expected retirement age. Takes a lot of the work off of the saver and a lot of the stress of making selections for their investments off of the saver. These investments are used by about 99% of the retirement programs across the United States. Our fund manager is the Vanguard Group. They are really the gold standard for target date investments in the industry. We're very happy to have them as our fund manager here with Retire Ready. These assets will be contributed into a Roth IRA, and each individual will be subject to auto escalation. So what this means is each year in January, their savings rate will increase by 1%. So if this year they're defaulted at 3%, next January they'll go to 4, the following January they'll advance to 5. And this is really to get your employees and all savers saving at that rate that they need to save at to be successful in the retirement years. Now, what we've learned about New Jersey is that New Jersey is a very diverse state. Whether it's pork roll or Taylor ham, we need to make sure the program is customizable to the individual. So each individual has a different perspective or different need. So Retire Ready was built that way. It was built for the savers in mind. And our program can be customizable. You can change your savings rate. You can go in and put that at 100% if you really wanted to, or down to 1%. You can even opt out. Maybe you have your own savings program and you choose to opt out of ours. That's great, as long as you're saving for retirement. Also, we have a wide array of investment alternatives within the program. Just like a private pension program, we made sure that we had a diverse set of alternative investments. This begins with large cap funds, mid caps, small caps. We have international funds, stable value funds, bond funds, really everything that you would need or see in a modern private retirement program. We want the individual to have a similar look and feel as what they would in a private pension program. We also allow individuals to elect to switch to a traditional IRA. Maybe for tax purposes, they're better suited for a traditional versus a Roth. We don't know that, but we make sure it's available. We make sure the program is flexible for the individual. Once we get through that 30-day opt-out period, and either the individual makes affirmative elections or the default elections come into play, then Retire Ready will package those elections and transmit them out to you. Typically, this is done through an email to you, and you'll be able to download that information into your payroll system. At that point, you can begin taking deductions out of your employee's payroll and transmitting them through to Retire Ready. One last step that we ask you to remember is as you hire new staff, load them into Retire Ready. Make sure that you're telling them this is a retirement benefit for you. We care and we want you to get in there. Doing it as quickly as possible is really the best method to do that. You hire somebody, you put them in your payroll system, put them into Retire Ready right away, and we'll get them enrolled at default through the default process. At that point, really, you'll be up and running with Retire Ready. So it's a pretty simple process to follow, but it begins with that first step. So the next question is what's next? And what's next right now for you as an employer here in New Jersey is if you're covered by the existing mandate, you have 25 or more employees, you don't have a retirement program, you're going to be receiving letters from us in a very short period. We are starting the enforcement process for our employers covered by the initial rollout. You should expect engagement. In fact, you've already had engagement, so you should expect some more. For our new employers who are going to be covered by our new mandate, 10 or more, keep an eye out. You're going to be receiving communication shortly. We are launching a marketing initiative, so you'll definitely see us in the area. And we're at a lot of the chamber events. Take a look out there. Most times you'll see that they highlight that we are attending events. We promote it as well on our social media so individuals know and they can attend and engage us. We love to hear feedback. We love to talk with the employers. So feel free to do that. Or you can take a action on your own. One way to do it, and probably the easiest way to do it, is call the Saver Assistance number, 855-929-4387. Give a call in there. You can get registered right away, and your employees can begin saving as soon as possible. With that said, I'm going to turn it over to the team.
Hello, Todd. Hi, this is Al. Just have a quick question. Many of our small business clients have employees who have ITINs. Would that cause any problems for them enrolled?
I'm sorry, Al. They have
ITINs, individual tax
ITINs.
identification numbers, yeah.
So their employees have ITINs.
They may, yes.
Yes, that's not a problem. They can still register with us.
Okay,
Those are assigned by the federal government and are acceptable for facilitating the program.
okay, great, thank you.